Oh, on the air? Okay, here we go. I'm going to do this particular video. It's going to be a reading. I'm going to be doing a reading on my memoirs. Say what? Well, I just thought I had an interesting story to share. Oh, it's kind of kind of kind of propelled or motivated by the fact that it's really not so unique or unusual. And I think it's the issue is finding that common thread or something of say acknowledgeability. And it's to those moments say, yes, I understand. It's trying to get into the heads of people, in the sense to say, when you take them on a journey, you take them through your head, in a manner of speaking, rather than just loose language or things like that. You maybe define things more interestingly, and whatever. And if there's a natural inclination to be a storyteller, let's participate in this. Okay, so anyway, this is actually a little bit of history, my biography. It's just a slice of it. It's just one chapter of my life's events, and so it it was in response to some other YouTube posting I watched, some video I watched, and I have no idea. Oh, I know, it was in regards to how to get off the addiction of alcohol. And still enjoy your weed. And it just struck, it's like, in reality, that actually really happened. That really happened in my life. It's crazy. He said one disallowed the other. It was kind of weird how that worked. I don't know. Could have been from divine instruction or direction. It's just like at the end, I'm really think about it. Say involuntary reactions to food being ingested usually tells you it's a bad thing. It's like even before you can almost taste it, you feel so. I've had that thing with my gallbladder, bad piece of beef, but I just the minute it hit my tongue, my gallbladder clenched. Wow, that's a pain. So, anyway, let me talk more about the specific purpose of this one. The alcohol thing, giving it up. My father was an alcoholic, I think, I guess. Sounds like it was. Excessive drinker, abusive too. Oh, well, let's not get into that. Oh, yes. Yeah, there is so much I'm so grateful to my father for. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been facilitated. Yeah, so for that. Yeah. Yeah, we have to enter this space in total open forgiveness in our hearts. Carry no grudges or harbor any ill will. Only love for fellow man. So I say, anyway, okay, well, just go ahead. Let me just, wasn't rattling on into the introduction. Here we're almost 5 minutes into this gig, and you haven't heard a word about my memoir chapter. Sure. Okay, for lack of any better, let's say chapter 1. Yeah, it's kind of covers a almost like, in a way, almost like a, what do you say, what's that big encapsulating thing? It's the thought and energy that carries through my life. It starts from the beginning to where I'm at today. Yeah, so it's like it's a bloodline, lifeline. That's why I put it. Anyway, chapter 1. Being 80, I've participated in both alcohol and cannabis, in cycles, so to speak. My first encounters were with alcohol, mid-teens, getting heavy drunk at an older brother's home on some blended whiskey and Coke. Did some drinking with high school buddies and continued on after marriage and during my college days. Like you, I never liked the taste and only drank to get high. My choice would always be straight alcohol over ice. The stronger, the greater the high. I tried to acquire a taste for scotch, but at best, I was able to tolerate the taste. I also acquired the tobacco smoking habit after being terminated from my first job 2 years after college graduation. My then wife and I met some dressed down common folks, hippie types, who introduced us to weed, smoking. Interestingly, I stopped smoking tobacco Yeah. Oh. Anyway, let me move this frame up. Yeah, because I'm rereading everything in my mind. Okay, so, yeah, so anyway, my choice would always be straight alcohol over ice. You know, the stronger, the greater the high. And like I mentioned, I tried to acquire a taste for scotch, but at best I was able to, I guess, tolerate the taste. You know, it's like, alcoholic beverage. I mean, alcohol is just such a strong flavor. So, yeah, yes. And then you get to the point. It's like when you're a true drunk alcoholic, you just say, don't waste anything. Just put the highest alcohol content you can get in there in your ice and throw some ice, just over ice cubes and just sip on it. Yeah. Just kind of ingest it slowly. Yeah. It's not, for me, it wasn't ever about the taste of any particular cocktail or anything. It was like, yeah, it was like using alcohol to achieve the desired effect. Yes, getting high, drunk high. Yeah. So anyway, let me get back to my little summary here. Let me say, yeah, alcohol I never could acquire the taste. But anyway, so also, when you're drinking alcohol, tobacco goes right along with it. Smoking is kind of hand in hand. So those periods of time I was into alcohol, I was into smoking. Ironically, except, actually in both cases, when I got turned on to weed, let me go back to this. After being terminated from my first job 2 years after college graduation, my then wife and I met some dressed down and common folks, hippie types, who introduced us to weed, smoking. Interestingly, I stopped smoking tobacco and stopped drinking alcohol, as in my mind, it's just like they didn't compute together something. My body wouldn't accept that. Once I started smoking the weed, it rejected the alcohol and the cigarettes too. It's weird. So I mean, it's like my body was satiated. The appetite or desire for that, it just went away, or was absorbed, or whatever. Or maybe the cannabis smoking, maybe that satisfied all that. I don't know. Maybe that was, that could have been, because I was actually smoking, inhaling, and all that stuff. So anyway, let's get back to the story here. I just didn't I didn't like the feeling of being drunk and weed high at this, and the cigarettes also countered the weed. So for the next 7 or so years, I just smoked cannabis, weed, marijuana, I would say. And then I just go and I say, hey, okay. So this next 7 or so years, just smoked cannabis. You have to understand that smoking weed was not legal, so there was always this cloak and dagger event whenever supplies needed to be replenished. Once in a while, you would connect with a regular good supplier, but would eventually fade from the scene. Meeting places were always different, even meeting one supplier in the men's washroom in the company that he worked at, and it's like very slack, like security just walked in through the doors, and this was a different time. And these were in the 70s in the Midwest community, only radiated love and affection for the world. So security issues weren't that significant, even in people's mind's eyes, so it wasn't so big a deal then. So anyway, buying, going into the washroom, and exchanging the $20 for whatever, how much you got from that. I can't remember, it was a quarter of an ounce or whatever, of something you'd roll up. And, the vast majority of the time it was, half the time it was okay. Yeah. About a quarter of the time it was not okay. And then about 1/4 of the time it would be one of those things like, wow, where did you get this shit? It was so good. I mean, in terms of getting you high and all that, yeah. Wow. So, so I've been in both ways. It's like, but it seems like for some reason, there was something that internally that manipulated that. I don't know why. Yes, when I smoked, I didn't. When I smoked weed, I had no desire to smoke cigarettes or even partake in alcohol. It's really crazy. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, let me just continue on then. Let me continue. So back in the 70s, security was pretty lax, so this was possible, getting through security. Sometimes it would be late at night, you'd go to pick up your pickup, and it was never ever at the same place 2 times, it would be like, and it wouldn't, it would give her like, somehow they wouldn't even give you, they'd give you the street and where, and you could see like lit street numbers and stuff like that, but they wouldn't give that to you. They'd give you something to look for, So if it's like a lit, pumpkin or something, transparent, some kind of lightning. They say look for the candle. It'd be on the porch somewhere. Except if there's if this is a kind of one of those kind of industrial complex, zones where people operate independently in their homes, and maybe this is a kind of like an industrial zone in that context. So, how many pumpkins in the porch might you find like that? So it's, first time you use it's going to work, but after a while, it's going to catch on. It'll fuck up the communication system. Anyway, so the quality varied from sticks and stones with a long, you make it lung burnout with a little high, and once in a while, pretty time-altering stuff. Where you would be stoned and you'd be driving your car. Well, just to get a little backstory in that, it's like, it would be on one of your pickup runs. And it'd be at night too, so this even exacerbated the potential situation. And maybe those of us who experienced similar things, I don't know. But invariably, when you got the good stuff, the guy who was giving it to you, he knew what you were getting. He'd share a joint with you. That happened maybe 2 or 3 times. And, you never refuse sharing a joint. Especially the guy you just bought this stuff from. Yeah, you want to make sure, this has to be a mutual trust thing. Yeah, it could be, both of our asses could be at jeopardy. He doesn't know who I am, and I don't know who he is. So, yeah. And you just, Oh, yeah. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, these people that I've met, they were in the Midwest, so maybe affected. It's like, I feel like just very common, ordinary people. It's like living a normal life, what's happening. And the guy does something a little bit on the side. He participates for sure, but he just very smartly operates a little, cadre of friends and things like that. And again, sometimes you kind of get let into a circle like that. Like people, you're with close friendships with people. And there was some protection and security in that. If people were just, just open and honest. They didn't, hide things, but they just always acted discreetly. So that was the time, 70s, late 60s, through the 70s, early 80s, mid 80s. It's a stretch of time there. Anyway. Relating to this one incident here, and share with you. It's like this talking about getting, sharing a joint with the supplier, and then you leave home with your stash, get in your car, which way did I turn in from? You're on this street, you're kind of turning You reconsider. I turn left. Oh, okay. Then I go back out. Turn to my right. It's like you get so this, you know. It's like, how did I get here? Like it was so simple when you came. It's like, but no, you're not familiar with this street, this side street now. I mean, your processor's kind of gone into like a, I guess, cleanup mode, and it's taken away the. Oh, my phone is going. All right, cool. Yeah, I turned that off. I used to shut my ringer off, except they started playing that one, and I said, hey, I like that. So I never answer. Right? We get maybe a little momentary interlude. Anyway, let me continue on. So you run this. You got your stash in your car, and you're looking around. You gingerly pull out in the street. It's late, so it's not a lot of traffic. But the street you're pulling on is more thoroughfare type, one of the more boulevard type streets. So pull out on there, and it's lights, bigger outside lights, street lights carry along. There's stoplights, and there's one up ahead, and it's green, and it turns to red, yellow, and then red. And you're just going through the intersection of the previous road, about a block away. Red. Oh, so easy. I'm just going to back off of the speed a little bit, slow it down so that by the time I get there, it'll be green again. And so you back off. There. Just slowly cross. I mean, you don't want to be too inconspicuous. I mean, you don't want to be too conspicuous. You want to be inconspicuous. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Be inconspicuous in this state of mind. So, like, going 5 miles an hour, it's no big deal, is it? So, anyway, and crazy sounds. That thing changed from red to green, and I wasn't even halfway there yet. Oh! So you pick the speed up, and it comes about from 5 to 10, 15 miles an hour. And just make it through the light changes. Yellow, just stop. Just made that green light. You purposely slowed down, so you could make it. It's like, and then once you got through that challenge, it's like you're driving. Yeah, that's like, everything looks familiar, but where did I see it? You say, what is this? Where am I? Oh shit. I am so lost. Oh crap. And then there'd be some real major, like something that kind of jog you back to land, and be like, maybe like a McDonald's sign or something lit, bright light, McDonald's, and then you connect it. Oh, yeah, McDonald's down the street. In fact, that's where I turn right. And there's that momentary flash, and then you're back into stonehood, but you've already determined in your mind you're making that right turn. You're not sure why. And the stonehood just goes back into the computation of your mental facilities. Get down, and it's maybe like a right turn on red. in this street. This is a much more comfortable, familiar street. It's like your driveway is off the street, side street here. It's like you go down the road. Oh, it feels so more comfortable. Everything is, you recognize everything. You pull in, put the car in, park. Take a breath. Say, oh, yeah, I did all that. It's like, yeah, it felt like hours that transpired in that time, going from there. And you inside and see the clock. And this is before cell phones. And I forget to take my watch with me. So, what? It's like you were gone for like 15 minutes or something. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, so yeah, anyway. Oh, yeah, carrying on with this, yeah. Well, yeah, well, let me check this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, so anyways, yeah. Finally, you would negotiate the intersection with a big feeling of relief, only to be followed by this moment when you realized you had no idea where you were at. Then some familiar landmark would bring it all back to you, for at least the next block of this journey. Finally, you would reach home with a great sense of relief from the hours-long trip, only to discover the whole trip lasted for about 10 minutes. Yeah. This would happen when the supplier proudly wanted you to experience this particular strain and would share a joint at the conclusion of a transaction. This seemed to only happen when with good stuff. There was always the supply of anxiety, worrying about where your next supply would come from. Today it's so different. You go to this very non-threatening dispensary store and get the assistance of a knowledgeable attendant. Anyway, not to make this too long, one time I got some stuff from a gentleman who was a client of another former friend, and who worked for this guy. He's like a freelance guy. Anyway, and this was around the fall of 1977. I don't know what was in the supply, but for the week or so that I smoked it, oh man, it's getting some of these horrible nightmare highs. It's like, oh my God, this doesn't seem like anything I remember. What's going on here? And I was like, I think my body was kind of beginning to reject it. It had just been good, strong marijuana, and my body was at a point where it needed to say, I think we've had enough of this. I don't know, but what it did, it just drove the taste right out of my body. I can't tell you. Just whatever this thing was that this person gave me. It was horrible. Nightmare shit. It was just, it swore me off from smoking marijuana. This would have been probably back in the, let's see, late 70s, early 80s, I'm trying to put a time frame. Late 70s, yeah. Yeah, I think here it says around the fall of 1977. I don't know what was in this supply, but for this week or so that I smoked it, I would get these horrible highs with all kinds of crazy, scary shit going on in my head. I totally lost my interest in weed. I quit then and slowly entered back into the alcohol scene. See, that's crazy, yeah. Drinking and smoking in the local bars and hangouts. In the late 70s, I quit my corporate staff job and went into a partnership with an older brother. Got it? Yeah, brother. George, who introduced me to the Devil's Brew some 20 or so years earlier. And we opened up a couple of motorcycle dealerships in two different nearby communities. He managed one and I managed the other. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, the alcohol, my body just processed. It was my body's getting a machine processing this stuff. You know, stuff that would normally kill your liver, and you know. And you know, it's like, oh, how you say, you get accustomed drunk. I mean, it's like, I mean, you would, so you say fully adapted drunk. You know, it's like, it's drunk as, yeah, it's almost clear, but it's like, you can almost train your body and your brain to work when you're totally drunk. I mean, it requires more focus and attention, but you can do it. So, I'd get drunk, you know, go up, you know, to the guys, a lot of the people I worked with, you know, employees of mine at the motorcycle dealership, you know, very young, you know, young hot rod guys, you know, so hanging out at the bars and drinking and stuff like that. It's a regular thing, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I got into the drinking thing, and I got out of it for a period, and, well, let me just share what I wrote down, rather than me wandering off. Yeah. We, you know, opened up a couple of motorcycle dealerships in two different nearby communities. He managed one and I the other. Crazy thing is that even though I spent every evening heavy drinking into the morning hours with my buddies, I was never late in opening the doors to my store. The drinking went on through the late 90s, where after a hearty night of drinking, would swear off drinking it, only to find myself going out the next night. I'm never going to do this again. This is the last night. And I just really crazy. I tried to have that resolve, but deep down in my heart, it wasn't coming through. Well, yeah, so, except, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, there's an energy there that's saying, yeah, we gotta get through this, we gotta stop this. Yeah, yeah. So you say that, you know, you don't want to let go. You don't want to settle yourself into it. You're not going to let go to it. You're going to still fight, resist as much as you can, even though you're still got you in its grips. You know, holding it at bay. See, okay, down to one bottle a day. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it had me totally fully in its grips. Yeah. I'm never going to do this again. And when I'm going to say this probably somewhere in the 90s when this happened. I remember doing that whole thing, that feeling that's like, I'm never going to do this again. It's not going to do this drinking it. Stop it. And the strangest sensation went through my body. It's really weird. It's like, I said, like, yeah, that's right. A confirmation of some sorts of that feeling of it, like, of acknowledging, maybe crying out to the universe. It's like saying, okay, all right, we hear you. No, anyway, I mean, I didn't go through all that emotion. It just was kind of a momentary thing, but that's kind of elaborating on what the sensation was. It was such almost instantaneous thing, it's like a knowing or something weird. So, but I didn't think more about it next day. well, my bad business, doing things I normally do. And that time I normally get a hankering for a shot or something like that. A thought comes to my mind after I think. And the weirdest thing is like that comes to my mind, and I can just feel that revulsion. And it's like, how do you get that in your throat? Like someone wants to throw up. Like, whoo! And I think, wow! Oh my God! So, some kind of internal adjustment can be done in your brain. Yeah, those are my helper guides. So anyway, yeah. Well, let me share you with it. Yeah, pardon for the. I apologize for the diversion, but this drinking went on through the late '90s, where after a hearty night of drinking, would swear off drinking, only to find myself going out the next night. One particular night, after sharing a quart bottle of some Polish vodka with a former brother-in-law, I was just formally married to his wife's sister, helped her get her green card from Poland. Anyway, fully satiated, I decided to go home. It was late, early morning next day, about 3 in the morning. I got in my car. Oh my God. I was totally smashed and without an ounce of common sense. So I weaved my way towards home. They lived on one side of town and I lived on the other side of town. And in between was the local municipality's police station. And I mean, I had some sense of, I guess, awareness that I knew how to go to get home. And there were, from this side to that side, there were probably a few different ones. And that, 3 in the morning, all the streets in this little community would be bare, so no problem. So, my mind thought about time and distance and ease of navigation. And I picked up one without making the mental connection. I actually mentally pictured the building there. And took that one, that building being the municipal police department. The street goes right by. And so I hit it off, and thank God nothing I didn't hit anything. And I drove, probably steadily, but maybe a little weavily. And I think probably not more than half a block past that building, police building. So it was a whole bevy of police cars. Bevy of police cars? I don't know. A whole bunch of them. 3 or 4, I'm not sure. In my state, sometimes you get multiple vision. So, might have been just one with his lights going on. Like a whole bunch of them. Your light gets your eyes. No, actually, for real, there were about, I think there were 3 separate cars. And then, holy shit. I mean, I knew I was fucked up, yes. Oh. I could just see, my whole life is going to end. In that legal quagmire. Driving under the influence and stuff like that. Fix your insurance. I think, not a smart thing to do. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting here at the driver's like that, and I hear the tap in the window, and I push the button down. I heard this voice, "Hey, good to know people in important places, don't you think?" And I looked, and it's like, oh, my God. This group of these good friends I hang out with, just, social stuff, yeah. And her son, which I knew, it was like all like family. He says, here, come here. He says, get in my car. He says, we're going to move your car over a lot. I'm there. I'm going to take you home. Just get back tomorrow and pick your car up. And it's like, so he took me home. I think, I was so drunk. I was probably yammering on stuff, but it's been about personal stuff. I mean, nothing about that. Like his brother, I think, was at that time contemporary. He was like on the local high school football team. It was a nice family. It was a really nice family. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, my guardian angels were watching out for me. Oh, and you know what, though? It was a defining moment. Because after that, I never went out and drank again. I mean, I'd bring stuff back into my apartment. and just consume it there. And, I was just preceding, maybe I was just getting prepared for this point in time. And, it was kind of preceding that, this situation with getting pulled over for drunk driving. Yeah, wow. I just thank God that never hit anything. Never hit anything. Yeah. I'm not gonna say, I'm a good driver when I'm drunk. No. I was just extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. Wow. I think the great loving universe. So, anyway, let me continue on. My guardian angel was with me, though was about the time I was driving past the city main police station. I was corralled by a battalion of city cops. Holy shit. I was totally wasted, but I still realized the seriousness of this event. There goes my life. I thought so when one of the half a dozen or so cops approached my window and not looking up, but rolling down, I heard his voice say to me, "It's good to know somebody in important places, don't you think?" I then looked up and saw him there. Yeah, I knew his mother. We were good, we were part of this group of people, and she's one of a group I used to hang out with. I felt so embarrassed, but he was so totally non-judgmental and proceeded to escort me to one of his police cars and took me home. They parked my car in a common parking lot, which I picked up the next day. This didn't stop me from drinking now. I only did it earlier, only in my home. I always just wanted to drop you a quick line. This went on for a couple of so years, each night swearing off this addiction, saying this is the last night of this, only to be melted down to just help me relax. I'm not going to drink this much tonight, just skipping days felt like an accomplishment. Yeah, that was a challenge, making it through a day where you wouldn't drink. And the objectives this wasn't going to be the one that's going to stop from it all. They say, what if I could do without it for one day? And that actually was kind of an interesting approach, because you don't set the bar so high right off to discourage you. See, and you make it through the day, Yeah. Oh, a lot of it is the psychology, inner psychology. psychology comfort of saying, yeah, I can wait for a day. Just wait through the night, you know, and the fix can be there. So, that'd be your challenge, you know. I mean, I'm just talking about in the final months of this stuff. You were earnestly. I think maybe the universe needed to know that you were earnestly, even just to make that kind of a commitment. What I was saying, that you recognized that there was a problem you need to deal with. Yeah, so yeah, it was tough. But the beauty of this thing is what that is well, oh yeah, just skipping days felt like an accomplishment. I didn't need it every day. It was as if I was in a movie, repeating the same part, kind of like in the Truman movie. I believe that we belong to the bigger universe, and in some sense we are playing out a prescribed role. Anyway, one night I went to bed, making the same declarations against alcohol as I was saying. It felt different this time. The next day, the day came and went, and for some reason the taste of alcohol was repulsive to me. It was like being told the truth about a previous relationship. Don't want to have any more to do with it. It's like, yeah, I just got such an aversion. Even the idea, the thought of it, just kind of like, my brain interpreted it so entirely different. It's weird. It made my mind think of something repulsive. You think of the taste of, even like, mentally feeling that taste that you really never liked anyway, but you kind of succumbed the revulsion reaction to it. So, yeah, just that was the grace of this beautiful living universe. Love is one of my health guides. I don't know. There are all kinds of guides. So anyway, well, let me continue on. Kind of like in the Truman movie, I believe that we belong to the bigger universe, and in some sense we are playing out our prescribed roles. Anyway, when I went to bed making the same declarations against alcohol as I was saying it, it felt different this time. The next day it came and went, and for some reason the taste of alcohol was repulsive to me. It was like being told the truth about a previous relationship. Don't want to have anything more to do with it. This old life from which I have moved on. More than just distaste for the concept of consuming alcohol as a personal perspective, it was not good for me. This help received came from a conscious spirit from the universe, and it interceded in the process to save me. This is only one of many such life-saving occasions. Guardian angels do exist. Yours is watching you. Yeah, one is or watching you now. Also, they will, hey, you get in touch with your guardian angel. Are you interested in your health and, well, physical well-being? You know, keep them under a maintenance contract. That's the best way to say it. Yeah, it'd be continuous and routine. So try to maintain your permeability. In all ways considered, in all means considered. Well, anyway, I've just been rambling on, yeah. Guardian angels do exist, and And this was my message to a young lady who had been at a quarry. And I was advising her to seek her higher spiritual self. And also they will help you tune up your body. Just ask one of them. They're all waiting on your call. The encounter will be warm and gentle as your mind opens to the greater universe, the great universe of which we all are part of. So there, that was my contribution. Yeah, that's my contribution to share with the universe. Yeah, thank you. Hey, love and light from the universe, and to all of us. Hey, we're all together in this thing. We're all actors on the same stage. Yeah, well, how is your act going? Yeah, stay in tune, stay in touch. That's my motto. Yeah, keep those muscles flexing any way you can. Yeah, even if it's lifting a cup of tea or coffee, or clear, cinnamon rolls, ice cream. Anyway, all seriousness aside, another one coming up soon. I promise you that.